So since there's all these dents, does that mean I'm a bad spotter?
Alright guys, we got in late last night and I just wanted to come out this morning and check on old Termite. But a little dirty, but no worse than it's been before. But I just wanted to come out, man, and just brag on how well it did. I haven't added up our mileage yet of how far, but I know it's well over 1,000 miles that we went round trip. And Termite just did flawlessly. I mean, just absolutely no problems. We had dust cover come off of this brake on the way up there. And last night, coming into Vicksburg from the Delta, our brake light came on. And I don't know why the brake light came on, but it did. The brakes did feel a little spongy. So we ended up taking back roads from Vicksburg back here, which we were planning on doing anyway to miss Jackson and Florence and Richland and all that on Labor Day weekend traffic. Even though it was last night, there was still just so many cars. And so we ended up coming in that way, and the brake light stayed on. We had brakes. They were a little spongy, but we were literally, I was sitting outside the shop waiting on Andrew to roll the door up so we could pull in, and the brake light went off. So I don't know what's going on there. But that was really the only issue we had, was right there coming home. And it wasn't really even an issue. Termite ran, never missed a beat, and got beat on pretty hard. I think the transfer case was probably locked in more on this trip than it ever has in Termite's entire existence. Just locking into 4 low up there. The brakes did get abused. Obviously, you know, if you're in the mountains and you're dropping elevations and stuff like that, it's a lot, especially with the weight. So Termite's about to get a full brake upgrade, overhaul, which that's one thing I've never done anything to the brakes on this. I've touched just about everything else. But we're going to kind of see why the brake light come on, see what's going on. And Termite's going to get a brake upgrade here. That's going to be our kind of next focus, because the mountains will definitely expose weak links. And I would say if anything needed a little help, it was brakes up there. But other than that, man, it just did absolutely great. We're going to get her cleaned up and just kind of go over it. We did kind of kiss a couple of trees, which the Ozarks are crazy tight. And so we got a few spots. We're going to kind of get her cleaned up and do an evaluation of damage. Great trip. Termite, I cannot brag enough how much of a feeling of an accomplishment it is to take a trip like that in a older vehicle and just have no problems. It's just, man, it's just such a feeling of accomplishment. So we're going to get her cleaned up and kind of go over it and see kind of what damage we're looking at from the trip. You can see the clean spot here and there. That was one tree. You can see also where it contacted the mirror and kind of cleaned the center of the mirror. I'm looking right here. You can see a scrape down the side. I don't know. I don't think that actually did anything. I think that just rubbed the dirt. So I don't think that did anything. I know we got on our bumpers a few times. Not really worried about that. The rubber ends. I think the worst one, and it's not that bad, it's gonna be this one here. If we had glossy paint, you would see it. But right here, it's kind of sunk in. We got into this light. It crushed our light in just a little bit. I guess we hit this bumper, and it either shifted the bumper over and put it into the quarter panel or something, but we got a little damage there. I can't put my finger in between the bumper and the quarter, and I know that wasn't like that before because when we put all this back together, we made sure all that was lined up and everything was equal. So, and I know we hit trees a few times with our bumperettes there, so.
I think there's one clip where I literally say, don't worry, it was just the bumper.
Yeah.
It's the bumper, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, a little rubbing here.
That's tight.
We rubbed down, but that didn't do anything to the quarter panel. I mean, to the fender. Good metal. Hit here, didn't do nothing. Didn't do nothing here. Thankful for fold away mirrors. I'm sure if we had glossy paint, there would be pinstripes for days.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One of the pros is.
But we have flaking wood vinyl sticker.
And we hit. And I will say this. If I needed one more thing to like about Arkansas, the mud from Arkansas washes off really easy compared to Mississippi mud.
Does it?
Mississippi mud, the red clay, must have like super glue or something in it because it is so hard to get off, especially if you've let it set for a few days.
What about Louisiana mud?
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
Louisiana dirt.
I don't even know if you call that mud.
Silt.
I call that what, gumbo?
Oh.
But well guys, it's a busy day here in the shop. It's been raining for like 2 days. So kind of using that, had a lot of things that's kind of come into the shop to get done. And we're doing a wide variety of things right now. To start with, we are on termite. Just got the front jacked up. We're gonna be replacing calipers, pads on the front, and also, if you remember in, I think it was our day one video, we lost our dust shield. Coming outside of Clinton on the highway, heard something rattling. Didn't know what it was. Jacked it up, pulled the driver's side front wheel off because that was where the sound was coming from. And the dust shield just fell out onto the ground. So this bolt had broke off. The head had broke off when we were doing the gears. And I knew that and kind of purposefully forgot / accidentally forgot to fix that. And I guess the vibration from no bolt in there, it just cracked the metal. So I'm hoping I can get the remnant pieces off and just weld it all back up. We'll see. All right, I tried to do a time lapse, but the phone failed, so get into it. So brakes are still nasty. I tried to spray everything off and clean everything up, but we'll get all this cleaned up. You can see all the mud and junk from the trip. So, tell you what, let's get all this cleaned up. I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so we got everything apart. It looks like we got a little water in our bearings. Well, the cap, the outer cap on the outside of the hub was a little loose, and so that's where I'm thinking it came in at. Judging by the fact that it goes front to back, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So anyway, here's where we're at. The dust shield welded here and up here to the bracket for the brake caliper. It bolted here. That's where the bolts broke off into there. Don't worry about that brake fluid back there. We'll deal with that later. I tried the old dab trick where you just dab onto the bolt with a welder to kind of build the weld out, and then you put some channel locks on there. Sometimes it'll come out. That works really well, like if you've got a manifold bolt broken to an aluminum head or something. It works really well because the aluminum and the steel react a little different, but on this cast, I just cannot get it to turn. So I just grind it off. It's too small, I think, to weld a bolt, another bolt to. It's just such a small screw. So what I'm thinking of doing, weld these back up and then just put me a spot weld right here instead of a bolt. Just spot weld it. If for some reason we ever take it off, we'll drill the spot weld out or deal with it then. But that's just gonna be such a pain to try to get that little thing out. to drill it, tap it, do all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Thinking about just welding the stinking thing. Just spot welding it in there and be done with it. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see how easy it is to drill. It may be a super soft bolt and drill real easy. All right, dust shield's back on. I ended up drilling and just finding a good self-tapping bolt that that went into the hole then. So that snugged up real tight. Got the top and bottoms welded. It's not the prettiest welds in the world, but I don't care. It's hard to weld metal that's so contaminated with all the stuff that this stuff's contaminated with, even when I cleaned it. But it's fine, it's strong, that's all I care about. So now we're gonna clean up the spindle, re-grease, repack the bearings in the hub. Since they had water in, I'm gonna clean them up and get them repacked up nice and put it back together. All right. Termite's got them new calipers, the premium ones too, with the coating on them so they don't rust anymore. Fantastic. One caliper there. This one's a different color. It's more cast looking, but it don't matter. You can't see them anyway. New caliper, new pads. We did get some water in this one because that cap had, I guess, wasn't in there real tight. It wasn't bad. It didn't get to the bearings or nothing. It was just kind of right on the spindle. So we cleaned all that up, re-greased, and I put a little coat of RTV around the cap and tapped it in just to kind of set it off. I did the same thing on the other side. The other side was fine, but I went ahead and popped it off and done it too, just for insurance, whatever. So, all right, cleanup time.
Testing the brakes. Say they work better.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week's video. We got the brakes working way, way better than they were. We're still looking to do a hydro boost upgrade here pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Remember, Andrew's got the giggles. She saw something funny a second ago and she can't stop laughing. Give us a like and a subscribe. Appreciate all you guys. Give us a comment below. We'll see you next week.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry.
Wasn't that funny?
I got tickled. Okay. I'll pull myself together.
You want me just to shoot it myself?
Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.